Hey Dusty Woodworkers, how are you doing today? I thought I'd make a little video on what my 8th graders are attempting to do. They're just starting this, and man, are they confused. I'm building one because usually if my students build stuff, I build stuff. It just, well, I like building stuff. I don't pick out my boards though. I have my students challenge me because they think this project's hard and I can do it in my sleep, and most other woodworkers can do it in their sleep as well. Why? Because it's kind of the basis and the foundation of woodworking and different projects and how to glue up boards and how to prep boards and how to do stuff. So I asked some of my students, hey, whichever one of you hates me the most, pick out some boards for me. And I was just joking when I said that, but some of the students jumped at it thinking, oh, I hate him the most. I want to pick out the boards. And then my self-esteem right in the toilet. So they picked out some boards for me. I have what's left over of a little cutting board. They found a little piece of walnut, 2 pieces of ash, slightly different colors, different grain, a little piece of hickory, a piece of white oak I may or may not use, and of course I have my little plans I drew up quick as they were drawing up plans. I make them draw up the plans nice so I can see what they're doing, whereas mine I just do it on this little shop note I have. I'm planning on making it around 8 inches long, 5 inches wide, and I have 7 different boards. So, seeing those base plans and my base lumber, I'm going to cut this up so you can see what it looks like when it's all done. I have 1/2 inch on this one, 1/4 inch, and so on. I even laid out my board so I know what size I want to cut them to. Is it going to work out? We won't know until we try. So here we go. Watch out. I'm going to try. Well, look at that. I did a thing. If you look at it, everything is cut up sort of the way I had it in my plan. I wanted it about 5 inches by 8 inches. I had to go 8 inches because my smallest board is 8 inches. So I know nothing is going to be bigger than 8 inches. But as I cut it up, I can start to plan even more. If you look over here at this guy, if I just have him there, starts on a white, ends on a dark. If I go like this, I know I have to cut a little bit off that end and then a lot more off this end so I can start on a white, end on a white. I like that. If you look at this piece of walnut, I split it in half. There's a knot, there's a knot. Do I want them both there or do I want to flip it around and have a little bit over there and a little bit over there? Problems. Also, I made these 1/4 inch, but if you look at them, and I mean look at them, the grain is pretty similar. If I went like this, pretty similar. If I went like this, totally different. Do I want it to be different on each side or do I want it similar? Another very good question. Questions that need answers. And then I had that piece of hickory and I split it in half. If you notice, I'm going for the creamy whites. I want the vanilla next to the caramel, next to the chocolate. They're not the same thickness yet because I'm just planning right now. This was my other piece of ash I had. I know if I cut it this way, I get all this cool grain that's similar to that, but it's shorter. If you look down here, it's thinner, and I didn't want it thinner. So I brained it up and said to myself, let's put it this way. Now it's magical. Everybody thinks. They get a board, they have to use it like this. No. You can use it that way. Now we have the edge grain. Now we can make the board as thick as we want. We're only limited to how thick this is. If I measured this out, and I did, I'm close to 6 inches, which is 1 inch over what I originally planned. I don't worry about that because I made everything 1/16 of an inch bigger than I need it. Why do you ask? Well, that's a very good question. If you look at these, there's gonna be gaps. If I put a clamp on here, there's not a straight cut. I have to join all these boards. I have to get them so it looks like it grew that way, where they grew next to each other. So I cut everything a 1/16 of an inch wider than it needs to be because I have to be able to solve problems down the road. I have to be able to figure out how to finish this before I start it. When starting to design your little breadboard, and yes, it's a breadboard, not a cutting board, get it together. Draw up some ideas. Once you have your ideas, check out your lumber. Cut up your lumber. If you notice everything's longer yet, I have to cut that up. I'm not too worried about that. I'm trying to figure out my colors. I'm trying to figure out my thicknesses. I know my lengths. My lengths have to be this big. So that's not a problem. So I hope that helps when you start designing your little breadboards. So thanks for watching, you dusty workers. See you next time. Long-winded sigh. I should have really breathed when I was talking there. Holy moly.